It's Super Saturday in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga, and kicking off a dynamic doubleheader on Matchday 6. The title race revs into high gear in the Autostadt. Joint record title holders Wolfsburg take on three-time defending champions Bayern München. The Volkswagen Arena hosting the biggest game of the 25-26 season so far. But what impact will it have on the Meister-Schale mix? James Thorogood on the mic, and happy to have you along for one of the standout fixtures of every season. At stake this afternoon, pride and prestige, titles and tribulations, eternal rivals battling for domestic supremacy. Two teams who have shared the Meister-Schale for the last 13 seasons. Two teams whose warm-up acts for this top-of-the-table clash were in stark contrast. While Wolfsburg produced a statement of intent with a 4-0 win against Paris Saint-Germain in their Champions League opener, Bayern were humbled by Barcelona in a 7-1 defeat. In the words of sporting director Bianca Rech, "We can lose in Barcelona, but not like that." And after a first loss under new head coach Jose Barcola, an early chance to set the record straight against Champions League caliber opposition. Five games into the new Frauen-Bundesliga season, this is a clash of first and second. For now, a look at the team sheet, starting with hosts Wolfsburg. Head coach Stefan Lech switching things up in two positions following the win over PSG. Kaitlin Dijkstra misses out through illness as Sarai Linder slots in at centre-back. Elsewhere, Justine Kierland is preferred to the inform Ella Pedamors, in behind the dynamic duo of Alex Popp and Linnet Berenstein, who already has 4 goals in 4 league appearances this season. Fabienne Michel, the woman with the whistle. As for the visitors, Bayern head coach Jose Barcola making 3 changes to the side that got thrashed by Barcelona. Caroline Simon tore a muscle in midweek. She's replaced by Franziska Kett shifting to left back. Elsewhere, Magdalena Eriksson and Lea Schuller dropped to the bench, with Gloria Gorstatier and Linda Dahlmann returning to the first 11. Pernilla Harder leads the line. The Dana scored 3 goals in 3 league games against her former club since joining Bayern. But she blanked here at the Volkswagen Arena last season. Wolfsburg emerged as 2-0 winners. It gave them the early impetus in the title race. Jose Barcola and co will be looking to snatch that here today. Wolfsburg and Bayern have both picked up 13 of a possible 15 points so far. Bayern yet to concede this season, while the She-Wolves have the league's most potent attack. We've got a wonderful atmosphere, world-class talent on display, title-deciding implications, all the makings of a classic clash between the two standard setters of German women's football, and perhaps an early indicator for what the title race might have in store. Top talent everywhere you look. Title winners everywhere you look. A battle of Germany's best to kick off Super Saturday. Wolfsburg against Bayern München. Rekordmeister against current Meister. first against second in the new season. A tantalizing top of the table clash in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga. James Thorogood, your match commentator, and delighted to have the pleasure of your company for what is a highlight act of every season. These two sides have shared the last 13 Frauen-Bundesliga titles between them. Wolfsburg were the dominant force, but after a 3-year stint under Alexander Strauss, the tables have been turned. Wolfsburg have been knocked off their perch. Alexander Strauss delivering 3 straight league titles along with a league and cup double last season before parting ways with the club and moving to the United States. He left behind an incredible legacy. Big shoes to fill for Jose Barcola. Both sides have made a solid start to the season, a surprising draw apiece. For Wolfsburg, it took place on Matchday 1. They were 3-1 up against Hamburg, the newly promoted side, and ended up drawing 3-3. For Bayern, it took place on home soil against a relegation favourite in the form of Carl Zeiss Jena. An historic result for Jena on that occasion. The biggest blemish on Bayern's record so far under their new Spanish head coach, though, came in Barcelona in midweek. A 7-1 defeat, the type of loss you rarely see Bayern suffer. Barcola talked about the lack of timing and tempo when it came to their duels and their pressing. They're trying to settle into an early rhythm here as two legends of the game, two former teammates, clash. Alex Popp just catching the heel there of Pernilla Harder. Her 18th season in the Frauen-Bundesliga for Alex Popp. One of the greatest of all time to do it. Julia Quinn, great to see her back from that injury that ruled her out of Euro 2025 in the summer. Third knee injury of her career. She made a pretty speedy recovery, but perhaps forced back into the starting lineup today due to injuries. Caroline Simon, the latest Bayern player to sustain what looks to be a long-term problem that will keep her sidelined for the foreseeable future. That's why Gwyn is back at right back. Franziska Ketz shifting to left back. Now Linnet Berenstein, and she's on the run against Glodis Vigorstatich. The Bayern captain stands her ground well. Even finds an outlet pass, though it's gone out of play. Well, Stefan Lech in his second stint as Wolfsburg head coach. It's fair to say the landscape has changed significantly in Bayern's favour since he was last on the She-Wolves hot seat. He has been brought in with the task of re-establishing Wolfsburg as the #1 team in Germany. There's a status that I don't think Bayern are going to relinquish easy as Stanway goes diving in on Janina Minge. In the eyes of Fabienne Michel, unfairly, drawing an early line on what will and will not be allowed in what should be a very competitive and combative game, and Stanway will make the argument that she won the ball there. She did take a big chunk of Janina Minge in the process as well. It was a loose touch, it was there to be challenged. Now Svenja Hoot in behind Franziska Kett, finds Berenstein, and Kvin just about wins out against Takai, but still the danger looms large. Here is Cora Takai. Bayern need no reminding of the threat she can pose in the final third. Scored some stunning goals against Bayern for Freiburg before joining Wolfsburg in the summer. But now Bayern with the riposte. Clara Bühl, the danger woman. Clara Bühl goes it alone and draws the first corner of the game. Well, you could maybe argue that Bayern's front line this season have started a little slowly. Goals have been chipped in from elsewhere. Top goal scorers so far in the league are Vanessa Gilles, the Canadian centre-back, and Lena Oberdorf, not in the starting lineup. But Clara Bühl has not started slowly. Corner comes to nothing. Camilla Cuva. Yeah, got clattered into a little bit there at the near post. Ariana Caruso a little over-eager in her attempts to try and get on the end of that corner. Can understand why. Clara Bühl's corners provide a great source of threat. Johanna's clearing it straight to Georgia Stanway. The high press there from Bayern, a lot more effective than the one we saw from Essen against Wolfsburg last weekend. Wolfsburg running out 8-0 winners. "20 goals scored, all told, for the She-Wolves at the start of this new season. They have the league's best attack, but Bayern have the league's best back line, one that is yet to concede this season. At the other end, though, here's Gwyn looking for harder. Danger dealt with. Oh, Jose Barcola, after that defeat to Barcelona, said that the great thing about football is that it offers his team an opportunity to come back at the first time of asking just a couple of days later. They were in action on Tuesday. Got an extra day's rest compared to Wolfsburg, but then Wolfsburg were in action on home soil. Didn't need to take a trip to Spain. Kieland gets a talking to there for the tangle with Caruso. But Barcola called for his side to take this opportunity to change the dynamic. Ultimately, he wants to pick up where Alexander Strauss left off in establishing Bayern as the dominant force here in Germany. Ina Mahmutovic. Nice pass out to Julia Gwyn, closed down quickly by Janu Levels. Breaks for Linda Daumann. Does well to turn away from pressure. Sakai sticks out a leg. Dalman, one of the 3 changes in the Bayern lineup this afternoon for this top of the table clash. Oh, Caruso needed to let it run, and Harder pokes it through to Gwyn now. Harder makes the run, but Gwyn's cross goes too long. This is a clash of north against south, but plenty have made the trip up from the Bavarian capital as we have a ball that is not up to scratch here. Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga. That one's been pumped up a little bit better. Right now these fans are pumped up, but we need a moment in this game to lift the energy levels even further. Right now, these two teams sizing each other up. Neither running too great a risk in looking for the opening goal. Slipped through to Harder, but the offside flag stopping her and Bayern in their tracks. A tight call, but a very good one by the lineswoman on this near side. These two sides have already met once this season. Bayern winning the Super Cup 4-2 in front of 16,000 in Karlsruhe. Bühl now looking for Tanikawa, and good cross. Tanikawa was in the right place. Takes a clattering from Kuva in the aftermath, but first sight of goal for the very talented Momoko Tanikawa, who right now under Jose Barcola seems to be amongst the first choice options in that front line. Well won by Wolfsburg. Now Pop with a headed effort. Sakai gave us something to attack. The aerial specialist that is Alex Pop has her first sight of goal. A gift of a pass there from Clara Bühl. May not have learned some of the lessons from the midweek defeat to Barcelona, because it was an errant pass from her that led to one of the Barcelona goals. And now they've got space to work with here, Wolfsburg. Sakai, oh, she looked like she was sizing up a shot. Now it's Svenja Huth. She's got 3 in the middle to aim for. She only picks out Caruso. Pop can't keep Wolfsburg in possession after a nice positive period of play there from the home side. Unable to reward themselves, but it's a wonderful back and forth brewing between the two best teams in Germany. It was Wolfsburg who emerged 2-0 winners in this fixture last season, but they got an early goal in that game courtesy of Vivian Enderman, missing out today through injury. Or Stanway gets caught, but play goes on. Caruso, lovely cross, harder attacks, doesn't get there. Ketz now out to Clara Bühl. Clara Bühl, what can she conjure up? And stinging the palms of Stina Johannes. Didn't have a lot else on here, Clara Bühl. One goal already to her name this season, coming in that Matchday 1 season opening against Leverkusen. Now another corner fist in, it's through to Daumann, and oh, what a challenge that is! Janina Minge came flying in on the stretch to deny Daumann what looked like a golden opportunity to get a shot on target. Now Bühl back into the mix. Long Daumann can't keep that one in play. This is a real chance, but look at the defending there from Janina Minge. This game is all about guts and glory in the vital moments. Daumann did have a few bodies between her and the goal, but you just never know. Janina Minge taking no chances there. Berenstein with the header on to no one. Svenja Hoot's done well here. Clipping it in towards Sakai, but plucked out of the air by Mahmutovic. There was more on offer there for Wolfsburg. A little bit of composure needed. A clinical touch in the final third, but plenty for these home fans to get now. You feel like the first goal is imminent. It was a bit of a cagey opening 10 minutes, but now the game is really taking on a different rhythm. Passing play from Bayern now. Harder drifts out wide. 2 for company. Tries to take on Kuva. Wins it back though. Nimble work there from Pernilla Harder, but Kuva does well to recover. Oh, the challenge is flying in. Who's going to win this one? Oh, well, Daumann did have the beating there of Janu Levels, but the whistle already gone. Both teams really taking the fight to each other. It was actually the offside flag went up against Daumann on that occasion. That was a wonderful idea by Justin Kieland after they broke the press there, Wolfsburg. Looking for the first time pass. Oh, that's a loose pass from Gwyn, who then asks the question of what's going on in the Bayern back line now. Pop and Berenstein look to combine. Belisea shuts the door, back out to Sakai. They do not want to give her a free shot from those types of positions. Tries to feed it into Pop, and now a bit of a panic clearance. Doesn't find purchase with Pernille Harder. Berenstein. Now worked through pop to Janu Levels, who drives forward. Clipping into Svenja Hoot. Svenja Hoot. Shot blocked by Stina Palisaya. Now the break might be on for Bayern. Wolfsburg need to be wary. Kielands again with a tactical foul, this time on Clara Busch. She got a talking to from Fabienne Michel earlier. Can't afford too many of those or she'll quickly be in the book. Ariana Caruso, the player that seems to be benefiting from the injury suffered to Zara Tsadrazil a few weeks ago. Stanway now lines one up from range, and she is a specialist in that regard, but that we'll call a rangefinder. Jose Barcola's side not quite having it easy as they did against Wolfsburg in the Super Cup. Ina Mahmutovic, not truly troubled yet. Mahmutovic, who has only conceded 23 goals in her Bayern career, 7 of which came against Barcelona in midweek. And there's concern etched on the face of Barcola, and you can understand why, because there's a feeling that Wolfsburg have Bayern right where they want them right now. This is a Bayern side still showing signs of being a little bit shell-shocked from the humbling defeat they suffered in Barcelona. They don't look as sure of themselves as they did towards the back end of last season. And yes, this is a backline that still hasn't conceded in the Frauen-Bundesliga, but it's still a backline that hasn't looked as stable as in recent seasons, and those vulnerabilities were exposed by the beaten finalists from last season's Champions League. Neat play by Tanikawa, looking for Pernille Harder and Camilla Kuva. Fortunate that the bounce of the ball worked in her favour there. A nice idea with the pass, but well read by Stina Balisaya, who now bursts forward. Bull, return pass, but the offside flag is up against Balisaya. Pointed to where she wanted it, but the run mistimed. The offside trap well played by Wolfsburg. Stina Balizaya perhaps taking inspiration from her fellow centre-back Vanessa Gilles, who's been in fine goal-scoring form at the start of this season. Right now, Glodis had to get a touch there. Given away so cheaply. Labels now. Wolfsburg have to pounce, and I'm not sure if Mahmutovic got a touch on its way through, but the shot was being dragged wide anyway by Janu Labels. Scratch of the head there for Stefan Lecher, maybe scratching his head at some of these terrible passes out from the back by Bayern. And Julia Gavin, not for the first time this afternoon, the guilty party in that regard, but she's not the only one. This is what I mean. Wolfsburg have Bayern a little bit rattled. Can't let too many moments like that go unpunished, and that's maybe why you get the scratch of the head from Stefan Lech as well. Buhl now. At the other end, Clara Buhl. Oh, yes, Clara Buhl! When Bayern aren't at their best, sometimes it doesn't matter, because when you've got a player of Clara Buhl's quality, she can make anything possible. Bayern have been riding out a storm at the other end. One break, one moment. And it's a moment of magic from Clara Buhl. She shoulders the responsibility, and in this top of the table clash, breaks the deadlock. Advantage Bayern at the Volkswagen Arena. Time and time again, she steps up with clutch moments. And from the grips of almost conceding the opening goal themselves, Bayern do what Bayern do. They find a way to make their quality make the difference. And now they'll have the bit between their teeth. Stanway, early delivery, needed an early run-up. She's having a phenomenal season, Georgia Stanway. Already with 5 assists to her name. Clara Buhl, not for the first time this season, bailing out Jose Barcola. Clara Buhl was also on the score sheet in midweek against Barcelona. Difference was her goal then, which came just after the half-hour mark as opposed to before. It made it 3-1 at the time. Balizaya beaten by Berenstein, and a tidy save there by Mahmutovic against last season's joint top goal scorer in the Frauen-Bundesliga, Linnet Berenstein. 16 goals scored. Might have had that award all to herself had injury not struck right at the end of the season, but that was lovely footwork, and she had Stina Balizaya really unsure of where she was going to go with it. Good solution found in a difficult situation there by Franziska Kett, and that's a lovely ball to spread the play to Pernille Harder. Look at all the arms up, all the players that wanted in Bayern colours. Now Clara Bühl is furious that that ball didn't make its way out to her, and you can understand why. Look at how much space she had. Just wonder whether she might have had a moment of reflection, Clara Bühl, because while it was a wonderful thing for the Frauen-Bundesliga that she committed her long-term future to Bayern München at the end of last season, Barcelona were the team heavily linked with trying to secure her services, and I just wonder whether in midweek in Barcelona she might have had a penny to think about what could have been if she had chosen a different fork in the road. And her future might still have a move to Barcelona in it. For now, though, she is a Bayern player, a world-class talent. And every week, she continues to underline why she is one of the best in the business. Wolfsburg invited forward here. The 1-2 doesn't quite come off. Harder chipping in on the defensive side of things, and now here's Bühl. Linda Dahlmann's making a lung-busting run through the middle. It's a 2-on-2 break. Clara Bühl dances past Camilla Kuva and fires just over. Fingertips from Sina Johannes. Clara Bühl is having a ball in the Autostadt. You cannot overcommit against Clara Bühl, and that's exactly what Kuva did. It opened up the chance. Stina Johannes, the German international goalkeeper, denying her international teammates a second of the afternoon. But right now, this is the Clara Bühl show at the Volkswagen Arena. Here comes a corner. Oh, on the head of Pernille Harder it lands. You'd almost expect a moment like that to produce a shot on target for Bayern, but not the case. Well, hard to argue that Bayern aren't good value for their lead. There was that really intense phase of play in Wolfsburg's favour, but now Bayern have seized the initiative. Tani Kauer! Shot blocked, it comes to Harder. And just wide. But we have gone from Bayern looking a little unsure of themselves, even if their dominance does show in the statistics. Now, though, it's Wolfsburg. Uneasy. Very congested midfield battle. Kuva under pressure, puts Levels under pressure and doesn't quite release the ball as quickly as she needed to there, Janu Levels. driving to the byline, and that's a good run. Looking for the cutback that was shut down, but now the referee's whistle stopping the Bayern advances. Just under 10 minutes remaining in this first half. As entertaining as we expected it to be. A game of high quality, though admittedly littered with a few more individual errors than perhaps we're used to, but then that is the nature of an intense battle like this. Two teams that push themselves to the limit. These are the best German women's football has to offer. And right now, you can argue that in many ways they are bringing the best out of each other. All at the same time trying to shut down each other's best efforts. 13 points apiece through 5 match days. The chance to go 3 points clear at the top of the table. And right now, the joint record title holders are behind to the current record title holder, excuse me. Although, that being said, one more title and Bayern will join 1. FFC Frankfurt and Wolfsburg on 7 in the Frauen-Bundesliga era. That was pretty rough treatment from Franziska Kett on Alex Popp. Popp perhaps making more of it than there really was. Certainly felt the impact though, didn't she? Alex Popp, a player that is used to dishing out moments like that, as opposed to necessarily being on the receiving end, given her physical approach to games. Oh, risky pass, but a lovely turn from Stanway to evade the pressure from Popp. And now it's worked out to Harder, who has Gwyn on the outside. Harder, who keeps dropping back from that lone striker role just to link everything up for Bayern as Caruso, oh, cheeky nutmeg, but can't quite turn the corner against Kuva, who certainly is a bit of a physical mismatch for the Italian midfielder. You've got to appreciate the nutmeg, though, even if it didn't quite come off. And for Camilla Kuva, big step up being made this season. 22 years of age. Unfortunately, there was a nasty knee injury that really set her development back. Wolfsburg had high hopes for her being the type of young centre-back that could really challenge the likes of Katrin Henrich or Marina Hegering in recent seasons. Unfortunately, though, that knee injury completely curtailing those hopes. But now, Hegering and Henrich have moved on. Been some summer signings in that department, but Sophia Kleinherner is still out injured. Caitlin Dijkstra missing out through illness today. And as a result, Camilla Kuva seizing upon the opportunity to stake a claim for a regular starting berth at centre-back. And got to say, in her first taste of this almighty clash against Bayern, she's acquitting herself quite well. Georgia Stanway, meanwhile, is really taking the fight to every Wolfsburg player she encounters. You have to appreciate those battling qualities of the England international. Such a significant player for Bayern, Georgia Stanway. Despite Bayern's form, she was greatly missed during her little spell on the sidelines last season. Here she's found Linda Dahlmann, only harder to aim for, so Dahlmann, well, it's half cross, half shot. Taken by Stina Hannes. Wolfsburg. Lovely play by Levels to ride the challenge from Dahlmann. Finds Berenstein, entered the area, and another block by Palisaya. Linda tries to pick up the pieces, but Franziska Ketz does really well just to marshal the ball out of play there. I'll tell you what, for a player that a few seasons ago was a forward, she really has stepped up defensively since being shifted into those positions. Not sure everyone saw that particular progression in her future, but for club and country right now, Franziska Ketz is a wonderful, versatile fullback that can play right back, left back. Got a bit of pace about her. Happy to get stuck into the challenges as he did there against Linda. Caroline Simon out injured now after tearing a muscle against Barcelona. Katharina Naschenweng is still making her way back to full fitness and full match sharpness after what was a lengthy spell on the treatment table with a torn knee ligament. She and Lena Oberdorf really going through their recovery process together. And that will be another question that we face today. Will we see Lena Oberdorf feature against her former club as a Bayern player for the first time? Because, of course, she missed out in both opportunities last season with that knee ligament tear of her own. Her performances so far this season, though, have proven that it was well worth the wait to see her in Bayern colours. Pop down, Gwyn down, but Gwyn quick to her feet. Pop a little slower. She's talked about her body being a bit of a ticking time bomb. That's why she hung up her boots at the international level. You can understand why when you consider the fact that she is someone that when she plays football, she puts her body through the walls. She regularly gets stuck in. She does not shy away from challenges. And given her talents, given her reputation, teams get stuck in on her too. I don't think that's what Linda Dahlmann was doing there, but she certainly left a mark. And then it was Julia Gwyn that got slapped in the face by Georgia Stanway in the aftermath. Bit of slapstick there between the two Bayern players. Well, Svenja Hoot has room to work with and picks the wrong cross. Everyone made a move towards the front post. She sent it to the back. And those are the moments today where Wolfsburg have done themselves no favours. You have to have the final touch, the killer touch in front of goal against Bayern. You cannot let moments of promise go unpunished. And right now that's been the tail of the tape for Wolfsburg. For Bayern, yes, they've had more of the ball. Yes, they've had more shots. One moment making the difference so far. One woman making the difference so far. Clara Bühl. Nice touch by Levels. Gets it back, but Dalman bites in. Stanway now to the goal scorer, Clara Bühl. She wanted to try and feed the run of Franziska Kett out wide, but had the door shut. Kett's done well, though, to get past Hoot here and gets the foul to go in her favour. Yeah, she got wrong side, she got hauled back. The two share words. Svenja Hoot, the all-time record appearance maker in the Frauen-Bundesliga. 325 appearances, including this one. Franziska Kett, 14 years her junior. Clara Bühl could quite easily go for goal from here. She's got it in her locker. This will be perhaps the last kick of the first half. Oh, Claude is so close to nipping in at the back post. But a very competitive first half. Ends with a narrow 1-0 lead for Bayern, the current champions. A goal up against the joint record title holders. And it all comes courtesy of a moment of brilliance from Clara Bühl. Because Bayern have not been at their best in this first half. Dominant on the stat sheet, but their performance tells a slightly different story. But fortunately for Bayern, they have Clara Bühl in their ranks, and she has produced a moment to separate the sides at the break. It's Wolfsburg 0, Bayern 1. Hello and welcome back everyone to the Volkswagen Arena, where we are kicking off Super Saturday in the Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga in some style as well. A top of the table clash, first against second, Rekordmeister against the current Meister, but it is Bayern, the three-time defending champions right now, who have a 1-0 advantage as we get the second half underway. Clara Booth's moment of brilliance as she hit the bullseye from the edge of the area, ultimately giving Bayern a slender advantage when they haven't been at their best. But then again, Wolfsburg haven't been either. They had a real concerted phase of pressure. They carved out chances, they tested Mahmutovic, they won the ball high up the pitch like they've done with Alex Popp there. But they weren't able to turn their momentum into anything meaningful, despite the chances they had. And ultimately, they were punished by a moment of individual brilliance as a result. Alex Popp not happy with some of the treatment she's been receiving this afternoon. James Surrogate, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company. If you are just joining us, you missed a very competitive and combative first half, and the second half picking up right where they first left off. But here's Cora Sakai bearing down on goal and has to settle for the corner. Doesn't have the beating of Gloris. Meanwhile, Linnet Berenstein still feeling the effects of the clash, I believe, with the Icelandic centre-back. Really went through the back of the Dutch woman there, but nothing too untoward. Again, it has been a very physical game from both teams. Challenges being put in on either side. Body checks, shoulder checks, 50-50, tough challenges. I mean, you name it, we've seen it. Neither side willing to give an inch, because both teams know that give an inch and the opponents can take a mile. Here's Svenja Hoot with the corner. Oh, dangerous. Oh, it's through. Mahmutovic. Oh, swing and a miss from Caruso. The final touch is in. A goal now scrambled. Wolfsburg level the scores at the start of the second half, and it's the first goal Bayern have conceded this season. It wasn't beautiful, but it didn't have to be. In the end, it might even go down as an own goal. It's Janina Minger's shot, the one that's decisive, but it comes off Ariana Caruso, and I reckon Minger's shot was going wide. Well wide, in fact. A big slice of luck. But Wolfsburg are level. Perfect start to the second half in this top of the table clash. They are shouting the name of Janina Minger. I'm not sure the statisticians will be as generous. If she is credited with the goal, it would be her 4th of the season. Level with Linnet Berenstein, and only Selina Cerci of Hoffenheim would boast more. Unless we forget, Janina Minger is a defensive midfielder by trade. She has been in fine goal-scoring form at the start of this season. Scored from the spot against Paris Saint-Germain, the 4th in a 4-0 win in midweek. That's today her 4th in the Frauen-Bundesliga. If it goes her way, she also scored in the Super Cup defeat to Bayern. She does have penalties on her account, which helps. Nevertheless, still quite an impressive return. Linda's cross. Franziska Kett with an important header at the back. Well won back by Kuva though. And Wolfsburg have really started on the front foot here at the second half. Mahmutovic saw that shot from Takai all the way. Caruso, the latest victim of a knock from Pop. So we see the goal again. It was haphazard at the best. Caruso failed to clear the lines. Balizea failed to clear the lines. It was panic at the disco for Bayern's back line, but that Minga shot was going nowhere near the goal. And as a result, I do reckon it will go down as an Ariana Caruso own goal at the end of the day. And there you see it confirmed at the top of your screen as Svenja Hoot and Franziska Kett tangle again, not for the first time. Kett has had the beating of Hoot all afternoon, and I think Svenja Hoot knows it against her younger counterpart. It's not just Kett that has had the beating of Hoot either, it was Clara Bühl. Her opener just dropped the shoulder against Hoot. Bites into that challenge, and again, well, Svenja Hoot really is up for this one. Leading by example, Pop does the same. And this is what they do need to do, Wolfsburg. They need to make life as uncomfortable as possible for Bayern. Give them ease of play, and they will tear you apart. Caruso, nice touch onto Tanikawa, needed another one to Daumann. Takes a little too long from Tanikawa, and I don't think she'll get a foul for her efforts there. Pop with the early ball to Berenstein, and I think it's fair to say that Claudis Figol-Stotich and Stina Balizea both well aware that Berenstein has a little bit more pace in her locker than they have in theirs. Positioning, as a result, will be so key. Harder again, trying to flit in off that right wing, and she rode the challenge of two, but Kuva again steps out well, the young defender. In that clash with Harder, she's felt something. A moment to just disrupt the rhythm for Stefan Leech's side, and well, 8 minutes into the second half, it has been all Wolfsburg. The home fans chanting the name of Camilla Kuva as Stefan Leech, the head coach, mulls over his options on the sidelines. Janina Minga there, the one who brought about the first goal conceded by Bayern in the Frauen-Bundesliga this season. 740 minutes. They went without a goal conceded. Not a bad run by Bayern. Right now, the one goal conceded so far in the current campaign means that it really is game on here at the Volkswagen Arena, which is exactly what we wanted. Clara Bühl. Linda, well aware of her talents. Two Germany international teammates. This is a stunning way to kick off Super Saturday. The standout fixture at the start of every season. It's one that you look for when the fixtures get announced. We've got another mouth-watering matchup this evening as the Nord Derby, the Northern Derby, takes to the Frauen-Bundesliga stage for the first time. Yeah, Sakai got there first. Impossible for Glaudis to step out and stop the momentum in that moment. Risky from Wolfsburg and Wedemeyer. Not thanking any of her teammates for the pressure she was put under there. Two back heels. The cross from Ket. Wayward. What a ball that is. Kvin will get there as well. Tanikawa the only one to aim for, but Tanikawa pops up in the right place at the right time to give Bayern back their lead. Our questions will be asked of the Wolfsburg defending, but for Momoko Tanikawa, what a moment in this top of the table clash. It's advantage Bayern once again, but what was Wedemeyer doing? Completely misjudged the flight of the ball, and Tanikawa just places it beyond Stina Johannes. And in many respects, you could almost look at what's happened in the second half as following the same story as the first half. Yes, Bayern had more of the ball. Yes, they were ahead in most statistical departments, but Wolfsburg were really giving a good account of themselves. And yet in the first half, it was a Clara Bühl moment of magic that undid all their hard work. And this time, it's some suspect defending, some suspect goalkeeping, but ultimately a tidy finish from Tanikawa that does the same. And now Bayern will look to seize the initiative. Here's another moment from Tanikawa just to stifle the atmosphere a touch. But they are doing their best, the home fans, to try and rally behind the women in green. A clash of north and south. First against second at the start of play. Level on points, level on goal difference at the top of the table, but on account of more goals scored by Wolfsburg, they were the ones at the summit. Now that will not be the case unless they can find another response to falling behind. They do have the league's most potent attack, 21 goals scored. Wolfsburg. And here's Bühl. Just sizing up Zerai Linda. Harder, touch beyond Wedemeyer. Harder! Brilliant play by Bayern. Scything through the Wolfsburg backline, but on the hour mark, Pernilla Harder can't add a third. And can't give Bayern a little bit of daylight. What a touch though, Wedemeyer just left standing. Credit to the reflexes though of Stina Johannes, keeping the scoreline respectable. Now a corner for Bühl. Goes low. Attempted the flick on from Caruso, excuse me. But a foul in the mix. Oh, handball against Glodis, a little harsh. Whenever she's on the ball, Clara Bühl, you just know that danger looms large. Same could be said of Cora Takai, but again, she's reducing herself to shots from long range. Needs to fashion clear-cut opportunities for herself, Cora Takai. And it'll take her game to a whole nother level. Because yes, she can score from range, but the percentage or the likelihood of success, vastly different. Who got the final touch? Franziska Kett, says Fabienne Michel. Pop over the top, and Berenstein gives chase in Gwynn's blind spot, and no one gave it a shout to let her know that the Dutchwoman was giving chase. As a result, a corner for her efforts. Just one shot for last season's joint top goal scorer in the Frauen-Bundesliga so far, Linnet Berenstein. Stung the palms of Ena Mahmutovic, but it was a shot straight at the Bayern keeper. Corner comes in, Pop rises, wants another corner, and can't believe she hasn't got it. yeah, she says, come on, the flight of the ball, it looped up, it had to have come off another head. Do we get any conclusive evidence here that it was a Bayern head? Indeed it was Glodis Vigorstatich. Wolfsburg's first ever outing here at the Volkswagen Arena, home to the men's team. Came back in April of 2022, and it resulted in a 2-0 win against Barcelona. That was in the semi-finals of the Women's Champions League. Unfortunately, Wolfsburg were still knocked out because they'd lost the first leg of that semi-final tie, 5-1. Oh, Berenstein taking out two Bayern players at one time. And there is threat in the air as Svenja Hoot looks for Berenstein. Oh, again, unconvincing defending at the back from Bayern in terms of clearing their lines and dealing with the danger. As a result, Hoot another chance to cross, and oh, Pop levels. It comes now to Kieland, charged down by Tanikawa. Appeals for a handball, and they fall on deaf ears. Stefan Lech inquires from the sidelines. I think it More came off the body of Momoko Tanikawa, but that is going to be her last involvement in this game. Right now she's got the match winner. She's replaced by Alara. Meanwhile, Glodis also exits the fray. Magdalena Eriksson on in a like-for-like change in that regard. One Nordic warrior for another at the back for Bayern. And now Eriksson has to give chase, but the flag comes to her and Bayern's rescue. Stefan Leger, all the emotions being felt on the sidelines by the Wolfsburg head coach. We saw him scratching his head earlier. Now it's two hands on the head. He felt that Berenstein was onside. Berenstein felt she was onside. I don't think we'll get a replay to clear it up. What we are going to have is two changes for the She-Wolves. Kessia Busi coming on for Cora Sakai. Ella Pedamors on for Justine Kieland. Pedamors, who has been in great goal-scoring form, almost a surprise to see her left out of the starting lineup today. 3 goals in her last 3 games in all competitions. Nice little 1-2 out wide. Gwyn going round the corner now and burst beyond Kuva. Unfortunately, her pass picked off. Stanway, though, shapes up for the shot, but sends it wide. Awkward for Ket. Given away to Minge. Minge wants it back from Svenja Hoot. That's poor from the Frauen-Bundesliga's all-time record appearance maker, Svenja Hoot. In the end, the whole move breaks down for Wolfsburg. Now, Stefan Lerck, in his first stint as Wolfsburg head coach, delivered 3 Frauen-Bundesliga titles and 4 cup wins in the space of 5 years, but very different landscape, because back then Wolfsburg were the #1 power in German women's football, and that just simply isn't the case anymore. Bayern have usurped them. They have knocked them off their perch. 3 straight league wins, along with the league and cup double last season, really underlining that progression. It's up to Wolfsburg now to find it within themselves to battle back. Easier said than done. Someone like Alex Popp has even admitted that Wolfsburg don't quite have the pulling power they once did, and when you've got incredible European teams in London, in Barcelona, Madrid now as well, Munich, there are some places that are a little bit more attractive to move to than the Autostadt, which gets its name from the fact that this is where Volkswagen set up their factories back in the day. Wolfsburg as a city would not exist were it not for Volkswagen moving their plant here. Autostadt, literally translated, means car city, because it is a place defined by the automotive industry, and one of the global leaders in that regard in Volkswagen, where this arena gets its name from. Last season here, a 2-0 win in front of just over 17,000. You go back to March of 2024, it was a 4-0 win here for Bayern. in front of just under 25,000, which was a new record attendance at the time. And that, for many in Bayern ranks, was their first ever win in Wolfsburg. Now they want to make it a more regular occurrence. They've got the chance to do so here today. "20 minutes of normal time remain. From this position, would a draw be an acceptable result for the She-Wolves? Perhaps. But Bayern want more. And Bühl, oh, almost in behind there. Stine Johannes had to come well off her line to snuff out that particular moment of danger. Wolfsburg, they are the joint record title holders in the Frauen-Bundesliga era, which began back in 1990. 7 titles, level with Erste FFC Frankfurt. Clara Bühl, she's in that spot again, and this time a deflection on the effort. Sarai Linda takes it behind for a corner. You cannot let her get to those positions uncontested, and Linda, I think, did a little bit of a better job there than Svenja Hoot did in the first half. And now you also see what makes Clara Bühl such a special player. 2-footed. Corners from the left and the right with either foot. Just as effective, although that one did not find its mark. Kessia Bussy first to the loose ball, and Stanway will look to close her down quickly. Bussy still under pressure. Finds the outlet pass, but forced to retreat. Well, Bussy does well there. Julia Gwyn making her presence felt, but it's worked out now to Svenja Hoot. Every Wolfsburg outfield player inside the Bayern half, but that's a risky game to play. Just wonder whether Jose Barkala might look at a player like Lea Schuller to play off the shoulder of the last woman. Right now, Berenstein, into feet for Minge. Svenja Hoot, pocket of space. Now Minge! Well, the shot was charged down in the end. Signs of life, though, from Wolfsburg in the final third. Berenstein, Pedemors, Hoot, and then Janina Minge. And Eriksson, quick to close down. But a moment to perhaps put Wolfsburg back in the ascendancy here. That 6-yard box is absolutely packed out in and around Ina Mahmutovic. Levels goes long. Now flicked on by Eriksson and behind for another corner. Let's go, Wolfsburg score a goal is the chant. Can they heed the call? Berenstein! Making a nuisance of herself. Nothing more than that. Now, from a neutral perspective, this game is perfectly poised as we enter the closing stages, and that ball, oh, looking for harder, shows the risk that Wolfsburg are running, leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back. But if Bayern's passes don't find their mark, then it will be to no avail. Nice run was made there by Dahman, not found. Instead, Gwyn goes to Stanway. Just over 12,000 in attendance for this summit meeting in Germany's top flight. Berenstein, Linnet Berenstein, trying to stand up Belisaya. Berenstein doesn't have the beating of Bayern's summer recruit. She has been brilliant today, Stina Belisaya. Was not to be beaten there. Level's corner, headed clear, but only to Berenstein! Oh, the net ripples, but it's the side of it. Oh, she has had her chances, Linnet Berenstein. So far, it just has not been her afternoon in front of goal. Sat up so nicely, the first touch to quickly bring it under the spell. Mahmutovic might have had that corner covered, excuse me, but crept wrong side anyway. You feel like there's one more goal in this. It's either going to be one that kills off the game in Bayern's favour, or it might be a goal to produce a dramatic and tense ending here. Bayern, though, are looking to kill the game off, and they've got the chance here. Julia Gwyn, 4 in the middle to aim for. Ay, ay, ay. Goes back to Ariana Caruso instead. And generally, that was really wasteful from Bayern. In a moment where they had the Wolfsburg backline stretched, they had time to try and pick out their opportunity. Played out poorly, and now Svenja Hoot only has Berenstein up in support. Now here comes Pedemors. Ella Pedemors! Mahmutovic will prevent the corner. There you see, yes, Bayern have had more of possession, but Wolfsburg have started to do more with what they have had of the ball. And these two sides with starkly contrasting experiences in the Women's Champions League in midweek. Today it feels like same old story. These are the two best that German women's football has to offer. There's very little between them. All games are competitive. But right now in modern times, it is Bayern that are coming out on top. And Jose Barcola, in that regard, despite the embarrassment of that 7-1 loss to Barcelona, is at least maintaining the status quo. And there I think we see why Eriksson was booked for taking Berenstein down off the ball. Hara looks for the Hollywood pass and produces it. Dahman, what a first touch that was, but oh, if anything, she might have surprised herself a little bit. I think she played it through the legs of Janu Levels. But it's broken down for Bayern, and now here come Wolfsburg. Pedemors leads the charge. He's got Kessia Bussy to her left. Kessia Bussy took too long to get the shot off. Cross in, good header. Always going wide from Alex Popp, though. She gets a corner this time, the Wolfsburg captain. Oh, look how much space she had, Bussy. But in waiting and waiting and taking a touch, 2-3, just allowed Stina Belizea to get the block in. Not her first last-ditch block of the afternoon either. Oh, low corner, and Bussy sends it over. Now she's a fan favourite in the Autostadt, Svenja Hoot. Replaced late on here by Thea Bjelde, the Norwegian international. Bjelde here on the ball, signed from Vålerenga in the summer, the team that Wolfsburg face next in the Champions League. That's before their game against Leverkusen in Leverkusen. And then, of course, after that, we've got the international break in the women's game. And Bayern will also be facing Vålerenga in the Champions League phase. Didn't have the easiest of opening fixtures against Barcelona. They really got put in their place. A bit of a stark and perhaps harsh reality check. Not that it gets much easier for Bayern, because according to Opta statistics, Wolfsburg and Bayern both got the most difficult possible set of opponents in the inaugural Women's Champions League phase this season. Wolfsburg managed to win their opener 4-0. That will serve them well moving forward, as Pop's taken another blow to the head here. Not her first. Now she puts her head in places where it hurts. Clash with Belizea. One that will definitely knock you for 6. Now, can Stefan Lech and his charges find one last attempt to really ensure that Bayern don't start fashioning a bit of breathing room at the top of the table? I'll be honest, if Alex Popp continues after this, I will be a little surprised. I mean, that's a real bell ringer. One of those where you wish that footballers would err on the side of caution. Now, what do the final 5 minutes have in store for us here at the Volkswagen Arena? Kept with the cross. Johannes now looking to spark the quick counter. Pops back on the pitch. Dalman, running herself into a difficult corridor there. Doesn't get bailed out by the referee. It's a throw into Wolfsburg. Unlike in the Super Cup, Bayern were never able to put this game out of the She-Wolves' reach. Different prospect here in the Autostadt, of course, given the fact that Wolfsburg are on home soil and they've got the majority of home support behind them here. Berenstein, well, trying to make something happen, anything happen, and well, it almost did. They don't need much. They'll take anything they can get, though. Now, Linda, this is a lot of space to work with. Oh, brilliant cross! And it was Pedamors who met it. Now Labels can't fizz it back in. Wow, I tell you what, there are moments tonight, or this afternoon, where Bayern have been riding their luck a little bit at the back. On another day, Wolfsburg might have scored more than once. I've got a Bayern player down. I believe it's Linda Dalman on the far side. Wolfsburg are being urged to put the ball out of play. I don't think they necessarily had to, but they do the sporting thing. There will be no goal for Linnet Berenstein against her former club. Not yet, at least. She's replaced by Judith Pioz. Pioz, who was a summer signing from Barcelona's B team. Young Spanish youth international. We see here what happened with Linda Dalman. And to be honest, I don't think anything happened, which is actually, it's more concerning. Given the scenes we saw with Caroline Simon in midweek, given the fact that Bayern already have an injury list that includes the likes of Zara Tatrasil, Vanessa Gilles, Jovana Damjanovic. Of course, Barbara Dunst still yet to make her first Bayern appearance, having signed from Eintracht Frankfurt in the summer. She arrived, though, with a knee ligament tear. Bayern not intent on rushing her back into action by any stretch of the imagination. And Berenstein, she scored in both games between these two sides last season. Draws a blank today. As a result, her goal per game average in the Frauen-Bundesliga this season is over. She had 4 in 4. Time is running out for Wolfsburg, but Pedamors with the strike. Well won, well taken opportunity, but Mahmutovic equal to the effort. And they've had a couple of shots from range, Wolfsburg, where, truth be told, they haven't really troubled Aina Mahmutovic. She hasn't really had to move much or be at full stretch to keep the ball out. Most saves tonight have been relatively routine for Bayern's new number 1. And from number 1 to number 1-1, Lea Schuller enters the fray at the last to try and help see this game out for Bayern. 3-point lead at the top of the Frauen-Bundesliga after 6 match days. That will be a mighty nice sight for Jose Barcola. Got 8 minutes of time added on. Couple of goals, couple of stoppages. We might still get that 4th goal. Mahmutovic, who admitted in an interview recently with Bayern's website that her dad never wanted her to be a goalkeeper because he felt she was so good with both feet that she should be an outfielder. A fun fact about Mahmutovic, her Frauen-Bundesliga debut was made as an outfielder. It's during the COVID times. Duisburg were short on players. She was brought on as a second-half substitute late on in the game, a defeat to Leverkusen. Quite the story to tell. Arbu does well just to hold off the challenge of Linda, who bites back well. Oh wow, that went Wolfsburg's way, all right. Now for Bayern, they've got a couple of home games to come, either side of the international break. Starts with a visit of Juventus, which, given the defeat to Barcelona, you could argue is a must-win match on Matchday 2 of the Women's Champions League. Then home games against Köln and struggling Essen, 2 teams that will be vying for points at the complete opposite end of the table to Bayern this season. We've already had the first head coaching casualty of the campaign as well. Essen getting rid of Robert Augustin and Thomas Gersner. Now Lea Schuller. This is where they want Wolfsburg stretched, and that's a foul on Lea Schuller every day of the week by Joelle Wedemeyer. The question is, was she the last woman? Ganz ruhig, stay calm, says Fabienne Michel. I mean, the feeling was that Lea Schuller's through on goal here. Who's the recovering player? That's a red card. I mean, you can make the argument with Janu Levels in the middle, and that might be the only saving grace. And she has been shown a straight red card, Joelle Wedemeyer. Fabienne Michel took a while to contemplate the moment, but she felt it was a last woman foul by Joelle Wedemeyer. A bitter blow to Wolfsburg at the last here. They were giving their all to try and get an equaliser. Now they're reduced to 10 women as well. Stefan Lech will argue that Janu Levels would have recovered the situation. Fabienne Michel felt it was the denial of a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Lech can't quite understand why he got the booking. Any hopes of a dramatic ending here as the home fans make their feelings heard? The old classic chant of Shiba, Shiba, Shiba. Basically it means pusher, pusher. But essentially it's a referee that is not doing Wolfsburg any favours. Stine Johannes is not having the best time setting up her wall either. Clara Bull might fancy closing the scoring the same way she opened it. Or not. Back to Stanway. Short free kick. Bayern perhaps not going to push for a third. Happy to take time off the clock and manage the game here. Oh, Lara! She's through on goal, and Lara! To close the show! The meeting of the Frauen-Bundesliga's best, and it's Bayern who come out on top again. They're going to go 3 points clear at the top of the table. They're going to win this top of the table clash. And the icing on the cake applied by Alara. Looked like she just lost the ball under her feet there, but Bielda lost her woman. And Alara was never going to say no to the invitation. She gets her first goal of the season. And it's game over at the Volkswagen Arena. Bayern continue to prove that they are the #1 dominant force in German women's football. They respond to the humbling and humiliating defeat to Barcelona. A quick response against another team of Champions League caliber, and they want more. Clara Bühl wants more, and Bühl sends the effort wide. Well, she has been brilliant all afternoon. You can forgive her the lack of a clinical touch there. She set the wheels in motion, though. Another big game moment for Clara Bühl. When Bayern were not at their best in that first half, and I still wouldn't maybe claim that Bayern, we've seen the best of them today, but we certainly got closer to it in this second half. Go back to the quote when Jose Bartolo took over in Munich. He claimed that Bayern have to present themselves as Champions League winners at all times. They certainly didn't do that against Barcelona. They were closer to it tonight. But quote Bianca Rech, on Tuesday she saw a performance that was nowhere close to the limit of this team, and I don't think we've really gotten close to the limit of their capabilities tonight. Oh, Bussy with the chance! Oh, the hands were raised in the Bayern back line, hoping for an offside flag, but I don't think it was coming. And that was an opportunity for Kessia Bussy to make the scoreline look a little respectable. It might have been nothing more than that, but one last attacking salvo allowed here for the She-Wolves. Pedamore's crowded out. Pujols scraps away, but that will be that. It is Bayern who sees the early initiative in the Frauen-Bundesliga title race. 3 points clear. They move at the top of the standings. And in a battle between joint record title holders and current title holders, it is the three-time defending champions Bayern who come out on top at the Volkswagen Arena. The final score, Wolfsburg 1, Bayern 3. Well, a game that really did live up to its billing. This is a meeting of the two best teams in German women's football, and while they maybe weren't at their best, it nevertheless was a very engrossing, engaging and entertaining affair here in the Autostadt. Stefan Lech and his side are knocked off top spot as they suffer a first defeat of the season. Clara Buhl, the star of the show. She lifted Bayern to an opening goal when they weren't at their best. The second half, a lot more evenly matched, a lot more close to peak performance levels from both teams. Momoko Tanikawa re-established the lead after an own goal from Ariana Caruso had levelled the scores early in the second half. And when Elara struck in the 95th minute, it ultimately sealed the deal on a result that had been coming. Wolfsburg did manage to become the first team to score against Bayern in the Frauen-Bundesliga this season, but unfortunately that results in empty hands at the end of the day, because it's Bayern who have come here and returned to winning ways in impressive fashion. This was the response they were looking for after the misery of defeat in Barcelona in midweek. The smiles are back. They're 3 points clear at the top of the table. Carl Zeiss Jena, of all teams, are the only side to have taken points off of the three-time defending champions, who really want to cement the changing of the guard in German women's football. They've won 3 straight titles. If they make it 4 straight, they'll join Wolfsburg and 1. FFC Frankfurt on 7 Meisterschales. And from there, they will look to become the sole record title holders in that regard. Good value for their 3-1 win here today. The second half, not as emphatic a performance as the first, but they got the job done in the end. The side from the Bavarian capital looking to make history. And this is just the start of Super Saturday. It continues with the Nord Derby. From James Surrogate, thanks for joining. Catch you again next time.
Größer und größer, wenn ihr zwischen 6 und 12 Jahren alt seid und Bock habt, Spieltagskind zu werden, mit einem ganz besonderen Tag beim Werder Heimspiel, Stadionführung und auf dem heiligen Rasen stehen, dann könnt ihr euch bewerben auf der Werder Homepage unter Kids Club. Und jetzt lernen wir Hanna kennen, die ist nämlich heute unser Spieltagskind. Katharina.
Genau, die Hanna kommt aus Rede, ist 9 Jahre alt und hatte einen bombastischen Tag. Was hast du schon alles erlebt?
Also, ich und mein Papa waren vorne, haben mir die Jacke gekauft. Ja, bisher war ein richtig schöner Tag.
Oh, toll, du bist ja häufiger im Stadion. Was erwartest du für heute? Was tippst du?
Ich tippe 3-2 für Werder.
Wow. Wer schießt das erste Tor?
Jetzt.
Okay. Haben wir eine genaue Aussage zurück zu Arne?
Ja, auf jeden Fall euch viel Spaß beim Spiel und Hanna, dir vor allem. Und dein Tipp ist okay, den würden wir, glaube ich, alle nehmen. Jetzt schauen wir mal auf unsere Mitgliederkampagne. Wie fanatisch ist deine Werder-Liebe? Füllt eure Autogrammkartensammlung, ganze Schränke. Habt ihr in Grün-Weiß geheiratet? Habt ihr eine Trikotsammlung, die jegliche Vorstellung sprengt? Alle Werder-Fans sind dazu aufgerufen, die fanatischsten Ausprägungen ihrer Werder-Liebe zu zeigen. Wir freuen uns auf die verrücktesten, extremsten und absurdesten Beiträge. Und die könnt ihr bis zum 30. November hochladen. Die ersten 100 Beiträge erhalten zudem einen Gutschein für die Legendenwand. Und die 12 außergewöhnlichsten Beiträge erhalten ein Abendessen mit Werder-Legenden, werden im Werder-Magazin veröffentlicht. Das Ganze unter svw.de/Werderliebe. So, und dann gibt es den Platz am Mitgliedertisch im Hansezelt am 22. Oktober beim Bremer Freimarkt, der an diesem Tag nicht der Bremer Freimarkt ist, sondern Ischer Werder sozusagen. Das ist das Motto. Ihr könnt dann dabei sein für Mitglieder exklusiv am Mitgliedertisch. Auch dazu gibt es mehr auf unserer Homepage. Jetzt teilnehmen und gewinnen. Und wir machen ein bisschen Musik.
Unsere Zeit kommt, shit, ich dreh am Rad. Ich komme ein paar Jungs, die haben mich eingepackt. Ich sag, bald gehen wir hoch, wenn ihr so weitermacht. Dicker, meine Welt brennt, wo ist die Leidenschaft? Dreh ab, ich dreh auf, ich bin 10 Jungs und Baby in mein Bauch. Ich bin kein Spaß, kannst du das sehen? Scheiße, ich glaub, es ist Zeit, dass ich was drehe.
So, wir haben wieder Fanbänke besetzt, und zwar die Ammerländer Fanbänke. Da sitzen Chelsea und Crispin von Kamp. Und dann haben wir ein Ergebnis des frühen Spiels, heute Spitzenspiel in der Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga Wolfsburg gegen Bayern 1:3. Die Bayern damit Tabellenführer.
Choosing your battle, pick yourself up and dust yourself off.
Letizia und Finja stehen hier bei mir, sind Werder-Fans aus Hessen und werden jetzt im Spiel gegeneinander antreten. Es geht um einen sehr, sehr schicken Pulli aus der neuen Werder Women's Collection. Und wir schauen einfach mal, die Fragen werden also jeweils mit einer Farbe beantwortet, mit weiß oder grün. Und wir schauen einfach mal auf Frage 1. Die lautet, welches Team gewann das DFB-Pokal-Halbfinale zwischen Werder und HSV 2021?
Keine extra Kabine. Ich will eigentlich weiterreden.
Das soll ich auch. Oh, das ist neues Bananen.
Hallo?
Nee. Ja.
Ich glaube auch. Ich bin schon da.
Schnuck. Damit gewinnt Finja. Den Pulli können wir überreichen. Danke euch fürs Mitspielen und wir wollen natürlich darauf hinweisen, dass es nicht nur wichtig ist, heute im großen Weserstadion zu sein, sondern immer auch auf Platz 11 unsere Frauen zu unterstützen.
Moin, ich bin's, eure Saskia und unser nächstes Heimspiel steht an. Wir freuen uns über jede Unterstützung, also kommt vorbei und supportet uns auf Platz 11.
Es ist natürlich bombastisch, hier zum 4. Mal im jetzt bombastisch vollen Stadion im Weserstadion zu sein, aber der richtige Spaß, der geht bei den Frauen eigentlich auf Platz 11 ab. Und eine, die das 10 Jahre erlebt hat, ist Stefanie Gordert, Stürmerin bis 2021 bei Werder Bremen. Es war doch toll auf Platz 11, oder?
Auf jeden Fall. Ich habe auch mit geringerer Zuschaueranzahl es sehr genossen, da zu spielen. Genau, und wenn ich jetzt gucke, dass sich da so eine richtige Fankultur auch entwickelt hat, dann würde ich am liebsten die Schuhe wieder anziehen.
Das kann ich verstehen. Ich bin manchmal als Gast dabei und finde es super gut, direkt an der Linie zu stehen, die Bratwurst dabei zu futtern und auch zu hören, was auf dem Platz los ist. Die Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer sind ja unfassbar nah dran. Wie ist das für euch Spielerin?
Ich glaube, als Spielerin bist du so im Fokus, dass du es nicht unbedingt mitkriegst, aber was man mitkriegt, ist natürlich die Stimmung, wenn Chancen vergeben werden oder es irgendwie dann doch knapp wird oder ein Tor fällt. Da lässt man sich dann auch auf Platz 11 schon von den Zuschauern tragen.
In den letzten Jahren ist das ja richtig hochgegangen. Es sind sehr, sehr viele Zuschauer da, bei Spitzenspielen auch mal so 3.500. Warum glaubst du, ist das so erfolgreich und wird immer besser?
Ich glaube einfach, dass Frauenfußball zeigt, dass ja, die Leidenschaft, warum die Frauen eben Fußball spielen, auf dem Platz gelebt wird. Die Spielerinnen sind noch nahbar, also es ist möglich, ein Autogramm oder ein Foto nach dem Spiel zu holen. Das ist jetzt heute hier nicht möglich, aber den Tag hier haben sie sich mit der Leistung von Platz 11 verdient.
Herzlichen Dank an Steffi, wir sehen uns auf Platz 11. Am 1.11. ist die nächste Möglichkeit, 12 Uhr gegen Union Berlin. Viel Vergnügen und wir sehen uns auf dem Platz.
Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me.
Wenn Freimarkt ist, und das ist ja sehr, sehr bald, ist meistens auch Werder dabei und meistens ist Werder ein großes Thema. Diesmal ist es am 22. Oktober.
Da ist wieder Zeig den Werder-Schal und da ist es ganz eindeutig, wie der Titel Werder-Schal dabei haben und dann gibt es viele Erlesungen bei Fahrgeschäften und Ständen. Kommt alle zum Ischer Freimarkt, Ischer zeigt den Werder-Schal und das Tollste ist, Highlight des Tages, Open Switch live von 18:30 im Hansezeit mit dabei, Horst Steffen und natürlich Arne Zeigler im Gespräch. Lou Richter moderiert, die Weser-Butcher sind auch mit dabei, außerdem natürlich auch Spielerinnen und Spieler von 22. Oktober auf dem Bremer Freimarkt, zeigt den Werder-Schal.
Für das Nordderby, indem wir euch einfach ganz viele Szenen zeigen aus Nordderbys bei Frauen und Männern, die zeigen, was es für eine Magie gibt in den Spielen zwischen Werder und dem HSV.
Das ist Weserstadion. Es geht nicht besser.
Look what this one means to Werder Bremen.
Das zählt, nur das, nichts anderes.
Die Fans sind außer Rand und Band.
Derby night in northern Germany. It is special in Germany and beyond.
Werder gegen HSV, das ist es, was Besonderes.
What a goal! And Werder Bremen have
du hast es gerade schon gesagt, das ist besonders und ich glaube, das Wichtige ist, wenn du auf den Platz gehst, weil es wird viel drüber gesprochen im Vorfeld, es kann auch mal ein bisschen hitzig werden, aber das Entscheidende ist für mich gerade zu Beginn des Spiels, dass man einen kühlen Kopf bewahrt, dass man sich nicht provozieren lässt, dass man bei sich bleibt, mutig agiert und natürlich auch mit einer gewissen Intensität, um auch zu zeigen, wer hier der Chef, die Chefin im Ring ist sozusagen.
Birte sitzt hier bei mir. Bislang brauchen wir den DFB-Pokal, um Derbys gegen den HSV spielen zu dürfen. Jetzt sind die aufgestiegen, wir können solche Derbys auch in der Bundesliga erleben. Was erwartest du vom Spielverlauf?
Wenn ich das wüsste, also dann wäre ich glaube ich schon einen Schritt weiter. Aber ich glaube, das wird ein super tolles Fußballspiel, hoffentlich ein mega tolles Event. Die Stimmung hier ist jetzt ja schon Bombe. Und das Pokalspiel ist natürlich eine gute Vorlage von uns gewesen. Am Ende endet es nach 90 Minuten 1:1. Aber ich hoffe natürlich, dass wir gewinnen und dass, wie gesagt, alle hier richtig Bock drauf haben und dass der 12. Mann oder die 12. Frau heute auch noch da sind.
Der Frauenfußball entwickelt sich rasant weiter. Immer mehr Zuschauende, immer mehr mediale Berichterstattung, immer mehr Fokus. Wie könnt ihr als Werder sicherstellen, dass ihr mithalten könnt mit der Entwicklung des Frauenfußballs?
Ja, du hast es gerade gesagt, es ist eine stetige Entwicklung und für uns ist es wichtig, Schritt für Schritt zu gehen. Wir haben in den letzten Jahren kontinuierlich auch das Budget für unsere Frauenmannschaft, auch für das Leistungszentrum erhöht und den Weg wollen wir weitergehen. Sicherlich ist es auch immer wichtig, dass wir das alles refinanzieren können und dann ist es natürlich auch schön zu sehen, wie heute hier vor einem fast vollen Stadion Derby gegen den HSV. Das sind die Spiele, die wir natürlich auch brauchen in unserer Weiterentwicklung. Aber ich bin trotzdem überzeugt davon, dass sich der Frauenfußball genauso weiterentwickeln wird, Schritt für Schritt, wie in den vergangenen Jahren. Nur dürfen wir auch nicht nachlassen. Wir müssen schon sehen, weil es gibt Vereine, die nachschieben, die nachdrücken, ob das Dortmund ist, Stuttgart oder. Und da ist es auch wichtig, diesen kleinen Vorsprung, den wir aktuell noch haben, dass wir den halten und wie gesagt auch Schritt für Schritt nach vorne gehen.
Bitte, ich habe schon angekündigt, dass es heute einen neuen Zuschauerrekord geben wird. Und zwar wird der alte von 22.000, der wird deutlich überboten. 35.000 Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer erwarten wir heute und wahrscheinlich einen sehr, sehr hohen Frauenanteil. Das zeichnet Sie auch ab. Wahrscheinlich waren noch nie bei einem Fußballspiel im Weserstadion so viele Frauen anwesend. Ist das ein Meilenstein in der Entwicklung des Frauenfußballs bei Werder Bremen heute?
Absolut, also Rekorde sind ja tatsächlich so Points, die man sich merkt. Wenn wir irgendwann historisch immer wieder zurückkommen, wird das definitiv hoffentlich ein Spiel, was mit einem Sieg für uns endet, in die Geschichte eingehen. Ich finde das auch mega, was hier los ist. Also so voll waren wir, wie gesagt, noch nie. Voll natürlich eher die Plätze. Ich hoffe, dass nicht so viele so voll werden. Aber nichtsdestotrotz, ja klar, Gänsehaut pur, die Mädels freuen sich, auch der HSV freut sich. Ich hoffe, dass beide Mannschaften einfach wirklich ein tolles Spiel. Und wie gesagt, ich hoffe, dass wir gewinnen, damit
Liebe Stadionbesucherinnen, wir bitten euch von jetzt an bis 15 Minuten nach Spielende auf das Rauchen in allen Tribünenbereichen zu verzichten. Vielen Dank.
aufgeregte Kinder, die im Tunnel stehen und gleich einlaufen werden mit den Mannschaften. Die Einlaufkinder von Werder kommen von der Molkerei Ammerland und die vom HSV vom Energiekontor. Die SchiedsrichterInnen Einlaufkinder kommen vom Kurznachprozess Optimierung. Und wir sind damit angekommen bei der Aufstellung unserer Gäste, bei der Aufstellung des Hamburg. Ach, wir haben noch ganz wichtig, bin zu schnell. Okay, wir machen doch die Mannschaftsausstellung, bin doch richtig. Wir machen hier Mannschaftsausstellung unserer Gäste aus Hamburg, die Mannschaftsausstellung des Hamburger SV. Da haben wir mit der 33 im Tor Larissa Heidner, mit der 6 Annalene Böhler, mit der 8 Svea Stolt, mit der 11 Melanie Brunthaler, die 19 Viktoria Schulz, die 20 Emilia Hirche, die 22 Sophie Hillebrand, die 28 Pauline Machtens, die 29 Leni Eggert, die 32 Lotta Wrede und die 39 Nina Recke. Trainerinnen unserer Gäste ist Liese Bransau. Dann haben wir eine Schiedsrichterin, das ist Dr. Riem Hussein. Ihr assistieren die Linienrichter bzw. die Schiedsrichterassistentinnen Jasmin Matisiak und Irina Wehr und die 4. Offizielle ist Lara Wolf. Und wir warten hier auf die Aufstellung von Werder! Gleich hier. Genau, und jetzt kommt der Punkt, den ich eben schon etwas vorschnell ankündigen wollte. Eine Ehrenrunde von Kindern aus dem Kids Club zusammen mit unserem Kids Club Maskottchen Toni, denn heute ist ja auch Weltkindertag. Also insofern ein ganz, ganz wichtiger Punkt hier gerade. Wir wollen alle mitnehmen und ihr nehmt bitte auch alle mit einem warmen Applaus. Wir freuen uns auf das Spiel.
schon 3, 4 Sachen erlebt, doch bist du nur 5 Minuten mal weg. Ist das für 10 Jahre Knast für mich? Ey, du wirkst mir so leicht in deinen Finger, wenn du durch deine blauen Augen guckst wie immer. Ich bin hypnotisiert, wenn du vorbeispazierst. Das wird jeden Tag ein kleines bisschen schlimmer. Flash mich nochmal, als wär's das erste Mal. Und Baby, Baby, crash mich so oft du willst, ja bis ich nicht mehr kann. Und seit du da bist, sind alle Lichter an. Du machst, dass ich nicht mehr schlafen kann. Ich seh uns 2 im alten Blau, mit weißen Haaren und dicken Bauch. Flash mich nochmal, als wär's das erste Mal. Yeah.
Liebe Fans hier im Stadion, die Spielerinnen versammeln sich im Tunnel. Jetzt geht's gleich los. Es wird sehr, sehr aufregend für alle Beteiligten. Deswegen würdet ihr, glaube ich, allen Spielerinnen gerade eine große Freude bereiten, wenn ihr die Namen gleich besonders laut mitruft. Hier ist die Aufstellung eurer Mannschaft. Hier ist die Aufstellung von Werder! Dies ist heute unsere Startelf. Wir begrüßen im Tor unsere Nummer 39, Mariella.
Und wir begrüßen ebenfalls mit der Nummer 2, Chiara.
Mit der Nummer 5, Michael.
Und mit der Nummer 7, Larissa.
Die 9 trägt Medina.
Und mit der Nummer 11, Maya.
Die 15 gehört Michelle.
Und die Kapitänin mit der Nummer 18, Lina.
Die Nummer 23, Hannah.
Nummer 8.
The second act of Super Saturday on Matchday 6. A clash of northern giants in front of a record-breaking crowd. Werder Bremen against Hamburg. Over 30,000 in attendance for the first ever Nord Derby in Google Pixel Frauen-Bundesliga history. But who will be crowned Queens of the North? James Thorogood, your match commentator for what promises to be a pulsating 90 minutes of football at the Weserstadion. Today marks the 4th time Werder have graced this hallowed turf, but there is no more fitting venue for this standout showdown. A derby that has defined the men's game has begun writing its own history in the women's. Last season, these rivals met in the DFB-Pokal der Frauen semi-finals. Bremen needed extra time to win 3-1 in front of 57,000 fans. At the time, that was a record-breaking attendance for a domestic women's game here in Germany that was ultimately broken on matchday 1 of this season in Munich. It was nevertheless a show of force and a demonstration of the pulling power in the region. Today we can't match it, but the point has been proven over 30